Hello, so I want to talk you through making your stencil shape for your honeycomb. So the hexagons will have 6 sides. So you get a square, use your ruler and make sure each edge is 8 centimeters. Then, next thing I need you to do is on each side here, you need to find a halfway point and put a mark. So half of 8, 4, you're going to put a mark at 4 centimeters here and 4 centimeters there, because they have a point either side. But the top bit's going to be flat here and here. So you need to measure in 2 centimeters from there, 2 centimeters there. Okay, so let me do that now. I would measure 2 centimeters dash, 2 centimeters dash. That means we are left with an edge here of 4 centimeters to have knocked off 2 there out of the 8, okay? And then we also know that this is 4 centimeters down because it's half of 8. If that's a bit unclear, if I now grab the scissors and join my points up, so I snip it from that point to there, that point to there, that point to there, 3, and then last edge, point, oops, to there. Okay, so now I've got my stencil, my hexagon, and each of the sides the same, and can I use that to now draw onto the paper? Okay, next step, you're going to use your stencil to draw the honeycomb. It's like you're going to tessellate. So put the black, or whatever colour your stencil is, down, and I'm drawing around it fairly neatly if you can. Push down fairly hard so you can see what you're doing. And then I'm going to move it down and leave a gap like this. And I'm going to draw around it again. So I have a repeat pattern. Try and keep it still. Again, I'm going to move it up here and leave a gap, because the honey would sit in those hollows, which is the shape of the hexagon. Okay, so I'm going to do, you can do it going off the paper, so I'm going to do another one going up there to get a really nice repeat pattern, this lovely natural repeat pattern that these very clever little bees make. Did you know the bee is one of the most important creatures in the ecosystem? So we really need to protect and look after them. Okay, I'm going to do one more to finish it off. You can keep going if you want and do it on a bigger piece of paper, but I'm just going to stick to A4 with mine. So there you go. Right, yeah, we're going to finish there. It can get a bit addictive. So that's my pattern of my honeycomb. Then for the next step, what you need is a range of colours going from dark to light, the honeyish type colours, but we're going to exaggerate the darker and lighter ones. So we need a really dark kind of chocolatey brown, then a slightly lighter one, then you can go into an orangey colour, don't need that one, and then a yellow. You could end up with white if you want to, or kind of a lighter yellow, but it's up to you. So we're going to start, we're going to imagine we're looking up slightly so the shadow is hitting this edge. So I'm going to get my darkest colour and I'm going to push down hard, going slightly longer at the edges. Try not to go over that line there into the ridge which is sticking up. You push down really hard on that outer edge and then let it kind of fizzle out. So just don't push down quite so much as you come towards the middle. We're going to fit in 4 colours, remember, so you don't want to go all the way down. Probably around about a quarter. So it takes a bit of time, and like I said, it looks good if you go slightly longer at the edges to show the light is not getting to that area. Pushing down harder, going over it lots more times as you're going towards that outer edge. You don't want any little snippets of white showing through. You want it really, really smooth so you can get the sense that the light is gradually disappearing. Okay, so a bit more. There you go, I'm fairly happy with that. You can spend longer if you have it. Okay, now I'm going to go to my slightly lighter colour and I'm going to overlap. So I'm going kind of fairly hard, but not as hard as up there, to overlap that colour. And then as I'm coming down, again, I'm taking the pressure off my pencil and I'm letting it kind of fizzle out or fade out, I suppose the proper word is. So you can see the sense of blend. I quite like those loose brush marks coming through to make it look textured, but it's up to you if you want to do it less like that. And then I'm going to grab, again, a bit longer at the edges. Then I'm going to grab my third colour. So I'm getting a bit tighter now. Again, overlapping is really important so you get that smooth blend. And then finally ending up with that really lovely yellowy honey colour. Just going to make it really sharp on the edge there. Now, don't forget to overlap the colours. People often forget that colour pencils can blend as much as paint can, depending on how much pressure. See, overlapping it. I'm just going to make that transition a bit smoother, so I'm going to go back now to the orange, and it's almost like I'm kind of, I describe it as itching the paper, you know, when you don't want to harm your skin and you're just very, very sensitively itching something. That's what I'm doing here, just put a very light bit of orange going in. It takes a bit of work with blending to kind of go back and forth with the colours so that you get rid of all of those little annoying bits of white that are trying to peek through and ruin your consistency. And which was my darkest one? It was this one, wasn't it? So I'm going to go with this one next. Just overlap them again. Because there's always a bit you miss out, so it's best to go back and just fill it in. And finally back to that one again, so you have that real sense of shadow there on the edge. Now if you have a white or a pale peachy colour like that, sometimes people like just to go over the whole thing to give it a really smooth blend like that, but it's okay if you haven't got that. And you would carry on doing that for your other hexagons with the sense of the dark at the top coming down, and then choose whatever colour you want to go on here. I suggest a lighter one because it will make it ping out, you know, to stand out in the foreground, so maybe a kind of creamyish, yellowish kind of colour like that. I'm just going to quickly do that to finish off and then leave you to have a go at drawing your hexagon stencil first, doing your tessellation pattern, and then finally adding the blending colour to create the honeycomb effect. Right, have fun, have a go. Okay, so you have your cutout stencil now, and you're going to draw the honeycomb. I'm just going to stick it down now on the paper, use my pencil to draw around it, and I'm going to do them slightly tessellating, repeating. So I'm going to now pick that up, move it across. I'm going to leave a gap in between, and then draw around it here again. No, I did it wrong, for God's sake.